Welcome to Mystery Handicapper. Let's take a look at race number 8 at Churchill Downs on Saturday. It's the American Derby. It's a mile and 16 on turf with a purse of $275,000. I think this is a pretty interesting race because most of these horses have run on a firm turf surface, and the way the weather looks at Churchill, I don't think the turf is going to be firm on Saturday. You have to keep an eye out on that. So which one of these horses can handle a yielding or soft turf? Let's take a look at the field. Immortalized at 4-1, trained by Brendan Walsh. He put together a few nice wins. A couple races back, won a stakes race at Gulfstream. Then the last time out in the Penn Mile, finished second to Alpyland. And he was a far back second to Alpyland. I mean, Alpyland dominated that race in the stretch. What about the distance of a mile and 16? Well, his sire never won beyond a mile. But damn sire could run all day. Now his buyer speed figures, well, they're heading in the right direction. 46, 71, 77, 82, and an 82. You got John Velasquez aboard. I will use the one horse on my tickets. Take a look at Prep. That's 6-1, trained by Cherie DeVoe and ridden by Jose Ortiz. They've been doing pretty well together. Broke his maiden last time out, winning by a length and 3/4. He closed well in that race. His buyers are 60, 77, 79, 70, and 73. He's going to have to step up those buyer speed figures. But he does have a win at the track. Also he's been on Lasix for 4 straight races, and he's going to have to come off of Lasix in this one. Cherie DeVoe, the horse is coming off of Lasix. She's winning at 18%, in the money at 44%. All of his races have been on a firm turf surface. His sire progeny, well, they went on wet turf surfaces at about 13%. It's higher than the average of 11%. Getting 6-1 on the 2 horse. Prepped. Full Mine at 15-1. This horse has struggled on turf. 0 for 2. Finished 6th twice. 4 wins on dirt, but well, this is a turf race, and let's switch it to dirt to keep an eye out on the weather. Norm Cassie and Christian Torres at Churchill Downs are 0 for 6. 0 times in the money. And Norm Cassie in non-graded stakes races at Churchill Downs, well, he's 0 for 10. But 7 times in the money, that's not bad. I don't know, maybe this horse might prefer a soft turf over a firm turf. Well, his sire's progeny are 0 for 10 on wet turf surfaces. You're getting 15-1 on the 3 horse. 1,000 Sticks at 5-1. Put together 3 straight wins, including the Kitten's Joy. Beat Alpyland in that race. A couple races back in American Turf, well, that was too much for him, that one. Finished 12th, behind by 21. Got some class relief last time out. Went to the lead. Set the pace. Probably went a little bit faster than he wanted to. 47 and 1 at the half. It's kind of fast for a mile and an 8. The first quarter of a mile was 23 and 3. He had Touch of Fire right behind him, so Touch of Fire was kind of pushing him a bit. And Touch of Fire will go on to win that race by 3. Touch of Fire is a pretty good horse. He's cutting back to a mile and 16. He might like the cutback. Now, all of his races have been on firm turf surfaces. His sire progeny? Well, the progeny of his sire went on wet turf surfaces at about 15%. It's not bad. Luis Saez and Brian Lynch, well, they do very well together. Now, what I don't like is that, well, this horse is 0 for 3 at Churchill Downs. I mean, maybe he's a horse for the course. Maybe he only likes Gulfstream. But he does like the distance of a mile and 16. I will use the 4 horse on my tickets. Sarak at 30 to 1, long shot. A couple races back, well, he broke his maiden, winning by 4. That was with Lasix, though. Next time out, a 6th place finish. He did increase his Brisnet speed figure. In fact, his Brisnet figures have been increasing every race. What about his buyers? Well, his buyers are 65, 69, 73, 73, and 76. Well, they've been increasing as well. Getting 30 to 1 on the 5 horse. Let's take a look at your morning line favorite and the horse to beat in this race. It is Alpyland at 8 to 5. Trained by Mark Cassidy, written by Javier Castellano. Broke his maiden at Keeneland. Next time out at Gulfstream, he won by a neck. And again at Gulfstream, a length and a half, and then Kitten's Joy, well, at the distance of a mile and 16, he finished 3rd. Then he cut him back to a mile, and he liked that. He won by 2. American Turf, back at the distance of a mile and 16, he finished 4th, but that was a tough field. No shame in finishing 4th in that one. And in the Penn Mile, well, he dominated in the Penn Mile when they cut him back to a 1 mile distance. He won by 4. Look at his Brisnet speed figures. He's got 5 90s in a row. I can't remember the last time I've seen something like that. That's interesting. His buyers are 84. His last 5 buyers are 84, 84, 85, 87, and 91. So his buyers have been increasing. He has a win on a good turf surface. And his sire progeny on wet turf, they win at 18%. That's not bad. Question is, does he want the distance of a mile and a 16th? He is 0 for 2 at that distance. Of course, one of those races was the Grade 1 American Turf. His sire won at a mile and an 8. And his damn sire, well, won at a mile and 16 twice. I will use the 6 horse on my tickets. Comport at 15 to 1. Oh, he's never been on turf. I mean, as a dirt horse, I mean, did pretty well. He broke his maiden, 2 1/4. Finished 2nd in the stakes race at Churchill. Then he won by 2 at Ellis. And second, in the Iroquois. And he got ambitious and put him in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He finished 6th in that race. Came back off a layoff in the Lafayette. Well, he struggled. And last time out, a 12th place finish, finishing behind by 17. So, well, now they're going to try grass for the first time. His trainer first on grass is winning at 9%. Progeny of his sire, turf starters, well, his progeny is winning at 14%. His dam never tried turf. His dam sire never tried turf. He is coming off a Lasix for this one, and his trainer at horse is coming off a Lasix is 4 for 39. You're getting 15 to 1 on the 7 horse. Comport. Let's take a look at Bust Out. Broke his maiden on dirt by 3. Next time out, he finished 6th, and Mike McCarthy tried turf. 5th place finish, just behind by 2 1/4. Then he gave him Lasix, and he only lost by a neck. Then he got off of Lasix in a stakes race at Santa Anita, and he won by a length and 3/4 now. His Brisnet speed figure did decline in that race. But his last 3 buyers are 69, 83, and 84, so they are headed in the right direction. Now, who did he beat last time out? Well, he only took on 3 other horses. The horse that finished 2nd was just a maiden winner. The horse that finished 3rd has 2 wins, a maiden and an allowance win. And the horse that finished 4th is still a maiden. Now, Mike McCarthy and Flavian Pratt, Churchill Downs, well, they do pretty well. They win at 27%. In the money, 64%. What if the turf isn't firm? Well, his sire progeny went on wet turf surfaces at about 9%. That is below the average. Getting 6 to 1 on the 8 horse Bust Out. I will use Bust Out on my tickets. And to close out this field, it's the 9 Brave Force. He debuted on turf, but he didn't like it, but that was Kentucky Downs. Kentucky Downs isn't for everyone. Broke his maiden a few races back on synthetic. Last time out, went over a sloppy track, went about a length and a half. I mean, if the weather gets too bad and this race is switched from turf to dirt, you might want to keep an eye out on him at 12 to 1. He is coming off of Lasix. His trainer or horse is coming off of Lasix. Wins at 11%. So these are the horses that I'm using. I'm using Alpyland, 1,000 Sticks, Immortalized, and Bust Out. I think Alpyland is the horse to beat. I will use him in multi-race wagers. I'm not going to let him beat me out of my pick 5. The horse I'm going to pick to win in this race, I'm going to go with 1,000 Sticks at 5 to 1. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let me know who you're picking in this race. Good luck.